Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And we're late again. What happened this weekend? Oh, Robert had to do 2 days of stuff with his martial arts studio, so stuff didn't get done. Well, work got done, but videos didn't get made. Y'all, look at this disaster. I'm being bad. I'm being bad because all the bags that we picked up at the bins and that big yard sale that we picked up on this last trip, I'm going through them very quickly and sorting out this stuff and pulling out the stuff that I want to get listed now.
So you're creating a death pile right off the get-go.
Yeah, it's bad. But to this date, I've gone through quite a few of the bags. I have yet to find the bag that has the stuff that I picked up at the first bins, Bridgeton, the first day. I picked up a Puffalump, I picked up a Fisher-Price Cozies, and I picked up a Snuzzle, Playskool Snuzzles, and I can't find them. It's going to be in the last bag of stuff that I sort through. But yeah, right now I'm like sorting them out, taking the ones that I need to get washed next door, and just while I'm waiting on stuff to dry, I'm working on smalls. I found so much good stuff. I just spent almost all day today doing Fisher-Price and Playskool dollhouse stuff. I found a bin at the St. Louis stop, and it was just full of dollhouse stuff. So I spent all day working on that. But there's just, you guys can't even see all of it. There's just piles. You know, I've got vintage Little People, Tokidokies, what are those? Daniel Tiger, Playskool Lincoln Logs. Just, they're everywhere. Been listing a lot. I'm doing like 20 to 30 a day right now, sometimes more. You know, as I do my drafts, once I have enough for the next morning, I'm just listing them as I get them ready. And it's, you know, some days it's 30, 40 that I'm getting listed. But yeah, this is the time right now to definitely be getting through those profit piles and getting stuff listed. But yeah, eBay's still working on stuff. Did everybody's task block disappear this week? You know, the new little single line across the top, it works. It's just why now? Why? So, nothing else really happening right now. I just, you know, returns, please. The postal system's being a little bit slow with stuff right now. Please get better. You know, just all of this stuff needs to get ready for fourth quarter, you know. So
there's no getting ready for fourth
I
quarter
know,
because
we're in
it's
it.
here right now.
It is, I know, and daggone it if it's already not the 19th of October. It just seems like, it feels like it's the 1st and now we're already at the 19th. So I'll just keep doing my thing, get this stuff listed, get it, you know, put away. I'm still going through all of my, as I do end and sell similar, I am lowering to $9.95 anything, especially the bears that's been listed probably more than 2 years. Just, I'm dropping all the prices on just the general stuff that I need to not pick up anymore and need to get rid of. All right, let me go ahead and show you. I had 3 sales in Etsy. In fact, my best sell of the 4 days was in Etsy. I'm going to share with you, I think there's 3 sales in Robert's eBay. And then we made our first sale on Poshmark. So since we've been back and he opened up his own store, I still don't, we still do not have very much listed in there, y'all. I am just struggling with time, because I want to get all of this stuff listed, because eBay is our primary income. That is where everything gets started, and I'm just not having time right now to cross list. And it's an issue. It's an issue because you can't sell it on those platforms if it's not listed. So, all right, let me show you first Etsy and my eBay store. first thing that sold on Etsy was this Soft Dreams Santa Claus plush. I love that brand. Just doesn't sell very quickly nor for very much usually. Sold for $17.95. And then this was a nice surprise. Mattel Blues Clues musical singing figure from 2000. And it sold for $44.95. Also, y'all, for those of you who list on Etsy, they just upped their their pictures so that you can put, I think, 20 now on there. So if you're using List Perfectly, they also have just fixed it so that up to 20 photos can cross list to Etsy. I'm not going to go in and fix the ones that are only 10 photos at this point, but it's nice knowing this point forward, more of our photos will be able to go on there. And then my best sell was this Avon, y'all. Avon Plush. This is one of the few Avon Plush worth picking up other than the Advent calendar. But this is Kirby. And he had his original pajamas and the hat. A lot of times that's missing. It is from 1983 and it sold for $116.95. Now, as far as eBay, all 4 days, my sales were way down. We were on vacation, but I mean, that shouldn't have affected anything other than I had 2-day handling on it. But yeah, my sales were way down. I think I've had one good weekend, and then other than that, it's pretty much either been below average or just like mediocre at best. Kohl's, the series was called If You Give a series. If you give a pig a pancake, a mouse a muffin, what was it? I can't even remember. I decided to put these 3 together. And they sold in about a month for $25. Ty Yodel's Pink St. Bernard dog. This one is 14 inches long. It sold for $35.95. But while we were at the bins this last trip, I found a large version. I think it's like 32 or 35 inches long. That I have listed for a whole lot more. So hopefully that'll be a nice fourth quarter sale. We'll see. Fisher-Price Loving Family Dollhouse Stuff. This set sold for $12. Ty Pluffy's Red Giraffe Kisser. I just noticed the little paper tag. I pulled it off because it needed to be washed. And I did not include it back. And I went looking the other day, trying to figure out if something else I had was Kisser. Well, now I just realized I actually sold it. This one sold for $13.45. Madame Alexander, Huggable Huggins doll dress. This was not on a Madame Alexander doll at the bin, so I just went ahead and took it off. And it had a little bit of a stain on it. Otherwise, I think I could have sold it for quite a bit more. But it ended up selling very quickly, like 2 days for $20. Dakin unicorns in general take a really, really long time for me to sell. But I decided to put this Pegasus and unicorn together. They're both Dakin, and it sold the same day I listed them. $24.95. My sale hadn't even started yet. Nintendo Super Mario World Poochie the dog sold for $13.45. My Little Pony cute little luau outfit. It was incomplete. I picked this up at an estate sale. And remember the big bucket of My Little Pony stuff I picked up? That was such an amazing find and so fun to process and get pictures taken. And this sold for $12. Blue and white polka dot puppy dog from Stephen Smith sold for $17.95. Walmart dog hand puppet, definitely vintage, sold for $13. I think this is the second time I've sold these, so hopefully this time they stay gone. This was a Wamzutta rainbow double fitted sheet, sold for $28. Aurora Husky Wolf Dog Plush, sold for $10. Vintage Russ Hand Puppet. My Robert's nephew's name is Cedric. I almost kept this for him, but I don't think he'd appreciated a vintage hand puppet named Cedric. It sold for $13.45. I just think that's such an odd, not very common name to have a puppet named after.
This is my dad's name.
Despicable Me teddy bear plush, sold for $13.45. On bread and butter, y'all. Vintage barrettes. These were in with something else, but you know, they definitely look vintage. I just decided to go ahead and list just these few together, and they sold for $10. Next one is Blah Blah Tweety the Bear plush. Was a very quick sell, also sold for $18.
Before I forget, click the like button, leave a comment, and tomorrow, the 20th, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be doing our live on the other channel.
Yes. The Rebel Pickers.
And if Rebel has a decent husband, he'll remember to put a link in the description below to the channel.
All right. Cleveland Indians mascot plush. You know, I picked up a bunch at the bins. I think they're all in the same bin. Some of them I listed individually. These were just little small bean type plush. Decided to make a lot, and about 2 weeks maybe sold for $26.50.
They're not called the Indians anymore. They're called the Guardians.
Oh, I knew that when I listed them. And I was hoping they would sell for more, but there's still so many on eBay. But I'm happy to sell something in like 2 weeks for $26.50. Russ Fluffy Shizu. Somebody corrected me the last time. Shizu sold for $17.95. Carnival style plush. Probably not going to pick very many of them up. They just, you know, they're stiff. They take up a whole lot of space. You got to worry about shipping them. They have to be in a box. But I'm still going to sell the ones that I have left. And this one sold for $10. Baby Mary Meyer Lamb Lovey sold for $17.95. Studio Nova. I remember picking this up at my favorite little estate sale company. We've not been there in a while. Hopefully they're going to have another one here real soon. The others they've been having, the pictures just haven't called me, and they've all been on the other end of the county, and just decided not to go. I need to start going to more estate sales, because we went to one this weekend, y'all. It was amazing, and I spent lots of money, and it was fun. So, you know, and not everything that I picked up I had seen in photos, and I need to quit just, you know, focusing on the photos that they provide and just go and see what they have.
We were supposed to go to the fiddle bag sale at 25 minutes ago today, and we just are now remembering that.
Yeah. Oh, that's sad. I hope Courtney went. Our friend that lives here. I told her about it because there was a lot of vintage toys and a lot of vintage children's clothes, and that's what she likes to pick up. So I hope you're there, Courtney.
And she's been doing awesome on Whatnot. So On the Hunt with Courtney, go check her out over there.
Yes, definitely. All right, Old Navy women's bootcut jeans. I don't know why there's a hyphen in there. I must have forgot to take it out. I try not to put any of those special characters in my listings, but every once in a while, because I use List Perfectly's AI to generate my listings, I don't always catch them. But these Old Navy jeans sold for $15.01.
I was messing around with ChatGPT to see how it did. If you're requesting it to create a title or a description for you, for the title, I requested that it not put any special characters in it. I said any punctuation marks, and it stripped all of them out and made the kind of title that we normally use without that stuff in there that we have heard messes with the Google robot that catalogs everything.
Yep. Right. Russ the Dachshund Brown Dog Plush sold for $9.95. Mary Meyer Finger Puppet. That whole series is called Tippy Toes. Only your two little fingers go in. They're very, very sweet. This rabbit sold for $13.45. Carter's Child of Mine Brown Dog Plush. There was a time that this used to sell for like 30, 40, 50 bucks. Not anymore. But it was a very quick sell, sold for $17.95. And last but not least is this pink elephant plush. Did not have any manufacturer on the tag, sold for $13.45. All right, and then for Poshmark and Robert's Store. On Poshmark, we sold this Unipack Black Swan plush, sold for $20. Emergency Exit men's cargo pants sold for $15.96. Lee's women's classic fit jeans sold for $11.89. And J. Jill Weekender jeans sold for $19.99. It is a rainy, rainy day here in East Tennessee. And it's 4:45. I'm not getting back to work. I did do a little bit of work this morning. And we just went and finished a puzzle. So we'll probably start another puzzle. It was down to the last few pieces and we couldn't find one, and it's a 2-pack puzzle. So 2 1,000-piece puzzles in one. And I was like, no, get the last puzzle done and it's missing a piece. But we found it, so.
And we comped it for about $50 or so.
$50.
With the two puzzles in it. So.
It's one of those Jan Van Hasteren puzzles. They're a pain to put together. They're just so detailed. Very detailed. But fun. Fun, but detailed. All right, y'all. Time to get to work. Bye.